Actually, let me reverse this and interview you guys for a second.
For sure.
Give me the exact moment. This is another thing that I love about the skate community, especially the OGs, humility, too much humility. So can you guys not humility me too much? Tell me the second you knew you had it, for real.
Oh my God.
This is an important question because I think it's fun. I think it will inspire a lot of kids. When, the exact moment, tell me the full story of the second you're like, wait a minute, I'm better than my friends. Wait a minute, I'm really good at skating. Or I'm about to be really good at skating. Or I just did a trick that all these homies that are good skaters can't do. They've been doing it for 2 years. I'm 4 months in. Because you have to understand, at your level, it's pure talent.
Mm-hmm.
And then you put in the hard work.
Sure.
When did you fucking know you were different?
Dubs, you want to go first or should I?
I'll go first.
Because at 15 to be in Skateboard Mag is like...
Yeah. That's
I remember being at a demo in '87 at Valsurf, and the Alva team was there, and I remember like specifically that in that 3 months they had the Alva team come through, PAL team, and
these were the fucking squads,
and these
right?
were the shit at the time. So at the Alva,
How old are you?
Probably like 10.
I love this.
This is huge.
Mine's way later.
Go ahead, yeah.
Anyway.
So you're 10 years old.
So I'm 10
you're
years
watching
old,
them.
I'm watching them, but then I'm like,
I can do that.
I'm gonna skate at the same time as these people because it was like a jam. So I ended up cutting off fucking Tony Alva, and he goes, "Get the fuck out of here, punk kid!" I remember it specifically. I'm like, "Oh my God, this dude!" But I didn't give a shit. I didn't even know who he was at the time. And my buddies were like, "Dude, that was fucking Tony Alva." I was like,
Who's
cool.
that?
Yeah, whatever, you know. But I definitely remember him being like, "Get out of here! Like, get like you know, you're fucking me up," type of deal. And
Why?
I was
Because
like,
you're good?
I don't know. Maybe I was in the way, but I was so like gun ho and carefree at the moment of just being in the moment of this skate jam that I didn't care who I cut off. Apparently, you know. And there's obviously skate etiquette.
Of course,
and maybe
of
I
course.
didn't have that. I was 10 years old.
Of course. It's like golf, right? Like I'm petrified to golf. I don't really golf because I know there's like 800 things in the etiquette. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking fuck up all the etiquette.
Yeah.
You know, like
Totally.
And I don't like being disrespectful. Like I'm a very big like when you go into someone's home, you respect that game. I'm very anti-establishment. I'm gonna fuck shit up. But I don't want to be disrespectful. And so the etiquette stuff fucks me up.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But then after that, I had a lot of like people being like, "Dude, you fucking killed it!" Like, you know. And I was like,
And that
you know
was the
what?
moment.
I think I have something here, and it just became a love and
Thank
passion.
you.
That was
Thank
just
you.
like,
That's
wow.
exactly what I'm looking for.
I think I don't know if I actually
Don't
had,
humble me.
Well, listen.
Don't
Have you
humble
seen my
me.
switch flip manual?
Yeah, exactly. Give it to me. Give it to me.
I don't think I had that. So I grew up out here, Santa
Okay.
Monica,
Yep.
Malibu, was around all the pros, you know, saw the pros. I mean, obviously on a different level than I was, but there was a place called the Courthouse, Westlake Courthouse. We'd all skate. And I think it was around then when I
How old were
kind
you?
of, I started skating at 15, so a little later in the game.
And
but,
what year
you know,
were you born?
77.
Okay, go ahead.
So
It's 92.
Yeah, it's
92,
93,
91.
yeah,
Yep.
something like that. Everything kind of happened quickly, but around that era.
And had you been athletic or done any other sports?
Baseball,
Did you surf?
no.
Okay.
No, never surfed.
Yep.
Never
So
surfed.
baseball.
Yeah, baseball, a little soccer,
Okay.
ISO, stuff like that. But I don't know. I think around there, besides from seeing all the pros and seeing what they're capable of, I felt like I was in this
Mix.
mix, but like more
Better.
above some. Obviously, people would come through. Who you're like, wow.
This is the analogy I'm looking for. You get into it, you get there, and very quickly you pick up on it. It comes natural to you, and you can sense you're better.
I had to work hard. I don't think gifted is a word that would
Yep.
describe me. It was like works, try. But at the same time, I feel like
You knew you could get it.
somewhat, right? But at the same time, it's like, when other people start to like, come there and they're like, "Oh, hey, Chris," and you start to get known. I think that's when you kind of
Yeah.
are like, some.
And
yeah,
it's,
maybe
and it's
I'm-
the early
maybe I'm
outside
doing
validation,
something.
right? Like I'm sure,
Right.
Somebody's like, no, that was good. Like that really resonates with me. For
sure.
So it was
Yeah.
around that. It happened fast, you said?
From the time that I started skating to the time that I started, I think we talked about this on one episode.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
like really kind of quick, 91 to like 94, 95. And then I started to
Really go.
Yeah, I don't remember what year the Listen video came out.
What about for you?
95, 96.
See?
For me?
Yeah.
5 years later. 4 years later.
I never was really that good as a kid, and I just loved it so much. My friends were always better. I just loved being around them. I kept filming sponsor me tapes. I felt like 4. I filmed like 4 of them, and I kept sending them out. Never a response. And then there's one year we talked about the escape thing. Like my parents like were going through a divorce, and it really like
rocked you.
It rocked me.
How old were you?
It was from like literally the 13 to 18 that were dealing with the whole thing. And the last year was like really when I was 18. That's when I was a senior. I would go skate
to get away,
and I would film all night because I loved it. And I would go to school. I made sure I went to school and did everything. I finally made that sponsoring tape. I sent it out the next day. I got sponsored by my dream company that I ever wanted to get sponsored by. And the thing that was crazy about it too is that I've told the story a little bit on the show, but I went to my friend's house. He brought me to this guy's house in LA. This pro skater's name's Guy Mariano. He's like, back then he was like this myth legend. Like you didn't see him, but he was on a little hiatus. He had gone in some like you didn't see him for years. And I see him there, and I'm like, oh my God, fucking Guy Mariano. What the fuck was like? I was like, I couldn't imagine. And my friend's like, hey, let's watch Kelly sponsor me tape. And I'm like,
no, Guy.
I was like, no, dude. I went in the other room, but he came back. He's like, dude, you nollie hoop no said that's the first time I've seen anyone nollie hoop no said around rail. Like that was really dope. And I was like, that was like the most.
That was it.
Like that was it. We're like,
you haven't been able to replicate that since.
That was one of the coolest things.
Good for you.
Yeah, but I think what you were saying, it's that validation from other people.
Yeah. You know, it's funny as we're going through this circle. Obviously, I play a very different game. Something that's very weird about me is that and maybe this is because of business, and I'll read the comments and people, but like I've never looked up to a business person, and people do look up to business people. Like in my generation, Bill Gates, because Microsoft was so monstrous, Warren Buffett. Mine has always been the masses. My version of Guy is 300 million Americans, just the market. Mm-hmm. It's like my thing is like the market. Mm-hmm. There was never humans in between me and the world. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot about that. I'm trying to understand and decode so that it could be something that maybe I can speak on. But it was funny when you were just going through your whole story, I actually was envious. Because I think it's cool. Like that is like the reason I made the joke of like you've never been able to replicate. Like you might not be able to as a child when you have an idol.
Yeah.
And that idol gives you a compliment in the craft that he's like, I loved Randy the Macho Man Savage. He was a lot, I'm being dead serious. He would have been like a guy for me. But, you know, if I got to meet him before he passed, if he would have been like, you're a great businessman, I've had that happen, but it's not in the same game. It's not like he told me I'm a great wrestler.
Right.
That must have been fucking bananas for you.
Oh, that was insane.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, that was an unreal thing, but then it keeps going from there, right? Like you have something else to look up to next.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Of course.
But that was when I realized that I was like, I can maybe do something with this.
Well, that's actually the beauty of both versions of what we have. The human, which you got to get lucky that the person lives up to the way you put them on a pedestal, which is always dangerous.
Yeah, totally.
For me, I think maybe it was even my fear of that. Actually, I'm really breaking this down live right here. I think the thing that's awesome about the market is you're not vulnerable to the human vulnerability. You know, your hero might be Hulk Hogan or Guy or Derek Jeter, but you might catch that human at the wrong moment when they're going through a divorce or through a difficulty or they lost some money or their mom died. And in that microsecond, you could be shattered because they don't deliver on the ideology. Yep. What's cool about the way I play is there is no human. It's just the market. So if I try to sell lemonade and I sell more lemonade than anybody, the market told me I'm better. If I want to sell baseball cards and I made the most money at the card show, it wasn't any individual telling me I'm good or not. You know, school was telling me I was bad. But the market was always telling me I was good. You know, it's even now in the advertising world, I don't want to be at the vulnerability of getting awards at Cannes Lions or Ad Age saying we're good. I don't care about awards and headlines because that's subjective. Mm-hmm. That's flawed. If I was in music, I wouldn't want to win a Grammy. That's politics.
Yeah.
I would just want to have the most songs that are listened to.
True,
the market.
totally. Yeah.
Right. And nowadays you could get that data.
That's right. That's why I fuck with YouTube skaters.
Yeah.
And TikTok skaters.
Where is that like button? Right? Is it right here or right here?
Just a little scroll coming down the bottom.
It's
Subscribe.
over to it's on your
It's on my
left.
right? It's
No,
on my
on your left.
Hey,
Yeah.
hit
Right
that
there.
button right there.
Right there.
Right there.
Yeah, please.
The like button's kind of like in the middle there. It's like we're kind of like
it's like right here?
Kind of.
Like right
and
there?
The subscribe's like over to the left.
Like right over there. All right.